Hey everybody, today I'm doing some live coding on the Zulip project. I'm not coding directly on Zulip. What I'm doing is I'm trying to rebuild this convenience panel here in TypeScript. And I'm trying to set it up so the convenience panel is a component with a very simple incoming interface and outgoing interface. And let me reload back into English here. Whoops, I need to start my web server. Try that again. So I have the four components, or four out of the five components here. If I go to Zulip, I have Zulip set to Francais Brouillon. It's just another name for drafts, uh, or not another name. It's the French name for drafts. Um, and what I'm gonna do is basically crib off of my starred messages implementation for the drafts implementation. I go into lib, I copy my starred messages component to this new drafts component. And I add that to my repo, should tab complete. Let me do a git status real quick. Yep, that's what I expect. I have a new file, and I guess I do have an untracked file. I'm not being super disciplined about my commits because I'm the only person working on the project. I'm basically just using Git as a backup system at this point. So if I forget to commit something in a previous commit, I don't like try to rebase or amend. I just keep working. One thing I forgot to show you guys. Actually, I can just do it. L star. Oops, TS. I started off this project working in pure JavaScript, but now I'm obviously all of my components are written in TypeScript. So I'm getting used to a new workflow where I do have to transpile the JavaScript into JS, and I have to remember that I'm modifying the TypeScript code and not the JS code. But you can see here that all of my, make sure this fits on the video. You can see here that all of my components are less than 100 lines. And that's because I've done a good job of just kind of splitting out little helpers and decomposing the problem into a bunch of small problems. You know, for example, I have an unread count helper so that implements an unread button. It has 16 lines of TypeScript, so it's tiny. It doesn't do everything it needs to do yet, just to be clear, but it's pretty close. So I'm going to open up this new drafts component that I created. I'm going to look for starred for starters. And I can call these draft build args. I'm going to call this the drafts widget. Should be draft build args. Drafts. Yeah, I got to be really careful about being consistent about pluralization, and I'm generally pluralizing things. So let's see, this is drafts widget. That's all the capital starred. Now let me look for underscore starred messages. Launch drafts. Drafts. Menu. Now I should be able to start auto completing some stuff. Drafts. 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 Okay, so far so good. Then I want to go into the convenience panel, which is conveniently already here. Add a drafts menu handler, which I'll have to implement. I'm updating the type right now. Add drafts. It's just a void function with no arguments like the other launchers. Let's see. Oops, I don't want that little backtick by accident. Let me just sort these guys since there's no like super logical order. When in doubt, just sort things alphabetically. Okay. So drafts. I think I have to type this one out. Drafts component. Launch drafts. Drafts menu. Append to drafts menu. Pass in. This convenience panel, I mean, all it is a container for these 5 other components. So it just sort of like delegates everything out to the components. Repopulate text, that's when the translation of French happens. I'm not going to worry about unread counts for now. I know that's a little bit broken. And then I need to add some handlers. So this will be launch drafts. Let's see, where's the menu? Pop up the drafts v.dot menu. I should show you that in Zulip itself. In my Francais version of Zulip, you can go here. Supprimer tous les brouillons. Suppress all your drafts, I guess. Supprimer? I don't know what supprimer means in French because you're not exactly suppressing them, you're deleting them. Our messages menu. I need translations. This should now tab complete. Whoops. And brouillon. I don't really care if I mistype anything in French because this is just a proof of concept. I eventually intend to actually get this component integrated into the Zulip code base, but I will rely on the Zulip code base to do the translation for me. I just need a way to emulate it for now. So let's see, I need drafts menu. I believe I already changed the TypeScript for this in the other file. Let's launch drafts. All right, I feel like I just did this exercise of copy pasting and modifying, so I kind of know all the places to change in the code. And like I said, everything here is under 100 lines, so it's been pretty easy to work with. Oops, I need to go up a directory to start my web server and start. So I have this little command that runs the TypeScript compiler against my project file, tsconfig.json, and then it'll start the web server if that succeeds. I know why drafts component is not being found. I'll look at the other error in a second, but I'll fix one thing at a time. need to edit. Let me go into this other window because I think I'm done with this guy. Drafts component. I think that makes a difference. Maybe not. I think I know. Actually, no, that's not the problem. I mean, that was a problem that I needed to fix, but that's not the. I'm not fixing. Here, edit convenience panel. Oops, I had it open in the other window. I'll sort these guys too. No, I don't want to capitalize them. All right. I think that'll eliminate at least one of these errors. All right, so line 75. I don't have a. I just put the wrong thing in there. Drafts. Okay, it started the web server, so I'm at least past the compilation step. This will be a big milestone for me. Syntax error not in function. My test code is still have it open in the other window. My test code is still on pure JavaScript, so this is not the TypeScript compiler's fault for not catching this silly error of mine. And I shouldn't even need to rerun anything. Web server should just be there. Oh, I forgot to rename some stuff. Let me reopen my drafts component. Let's look for start. I thought I was good about that. I do need to recompile this. Transpile, if you will. All right. Oops. Okay. If I click here, it says launch drafts. If I click here, pops up the drafts v menu. If I go to French, it translates it. The unread counts are broken. I'm going to worry about that a little bit later. I just haven't figured out how I want the rest of the app to talk to this larger convenience panel component, like what the level of granularity is. But it looks like I've accomplished the task that I set out. So let me do a diff. I ignored the changes to the JavaScript because they're code generated. I may eventually eliminate them from the repo, but for now they're just a minor nuisance to me. So I added some handlers, some translations, carried them back to the I added the component to the HTML, and then in convenience panel, basically everywhere where I did something with mentions or starred any of the components, I had to add in the drafts related code. And then in the drafts component was essentially copied from the starred messages component code. It's a lot of just renaming stuff. And I commit push to origin, and I'm done for now. If you've listened up until here, I really thank you for your attention. And in my next video, I'm going to probably fix up those unread counts and figure out what I want to do there. But I have other little tasks that are important to do as well. All right, thanks for listening. Bye.